Hi Soul Fam, happy Monday. Welcome back to our channel where we do tarot card readings every week. My name is Frances. I'm a Reiki Master Healer, a tarot card reader, and a spiritual channel and mentor for people all over the world, virtually, remotely, and also in person here in Orange County, California. Today, I am coming at you from my parents' beautiful home. My daughter is with my husband at our house. She's 2, so it's noisy. And my office, the parking garage is going under a little bit of construction right now. So that is also noisy. So I was being adaptable, which if you are interested, that is a big theme for July, which I learned from tarot card reading, astrology, forecast, etc. in a podcast that I did with Cassandra Bodzak and Asha Rose. I will link the description to that I will put the link to that podcast in the description box below. There are the words. And we talk about the energy forecast for June, astrological transits, events, retrogrades, moons, all the things. I offer guidance through tarot. Asha and Cass, they offer their beautiful, professionally, what's the word that I'm looking for? Words today. I will get back to that in a second. But they're professionally polished and also beautifully raw and authentic forecast for June. What I was saying, words today. We do have a Mercury retrograde coming. Nothing to fear, but it does affect communication. And I always feel astrological transits in the shadow period. So before and after, for me personally, is when I feel them. Mercury always makes it so that I can't talk. So if I fumble over my words today, apologies. But please, again, if you are interested, we do them every month. We did one for June. We just launched the one for July. It's on Cassandra Bodzak's podcast. So again, the link to listen if you're interested will be in the description box below. All right. But focusing on just this week, today is July 7th, 7-7. Love that repeat angel number there. A lot of people feel that it's portal energy when that happens. Whatever feels aligned for you. Working in the light and the highest for everyone here's greatest good and deepest healing and understanding at this time. Keeping my energy on, cleansed, protected, and theirs as well. Welcoming in my spiritual team. And each and every person who is here, welcoming their team forward. All right, what would you like to share this week? Okay, 4 cards this week. To start, we'll see, this may be complete. And please know that if you found this video after the week it was recorded, it found you at exactly the right time. Energy is timeless, it is limitless. But if you are here this week, July 7th, 2025, this is for you for this week. Feel free to come back midweek if you want to refresh, if you want to, take notes. That's always wonderful. I always like to take notes. Yes, I do go back and watch these. Yes, it is super uncomfortable for me to listen to myself talk, but when I'm channeling, it's just coming through me. So I always like to go back so that I can also receive the guidance as well. I like to take notes, little bullet points of what really resonates with me and action steps, any downloads that I'm getting personally. This is a collective reading, so sometimes it's a little broader, but you know how it's resonating with you. So sometimes I pause, I'll journal a little bit, and I like to make this part of my weekly ritual. And again, yeah, it's super weird to watch myself back, but sometimes I don't watch it. Sometimes I just listen, which also is very strange, but I just really try to focus on the guidance for you. It's hopefully not as weird because you're not watching yourself. But guidance is guidance, and right now I am the channel. So let's begin. First card here. Okay, Queen of Cups. So we are in Cancer season. Cups are about emotions. Last week we only had major cards and cups, so life themes and emotions. But this week, this Queen of Cups card, it's really inviting you to tap into those emotions, not running from them, facing them as they come, prioritizing joy. I know this has come up a lot the past couple weeks and months. I know the world feels heavy, but we can also have compassion and take action where possible and donate where possible, prayers, while also still, if we can, prioritizing our own joy and our own peace. Both of those can exist at the same time. In fact, they have to, so that we do have the energy to hold space for others. But this week, Queen of Cups is coming through to remind you Your emotions are important. Your emotions are a compass. Your emotions are here to tell you something. So if you are feeling heightened emotions, good, bad, in between, if you are feeling more sensitive or more triggered, it's on purpose, and with purpose. Queen of Cups comes in to say that you have the emotional intelligence to handle this. And I'm hearing the more you ignore it, the louder it's going to get. So this week, especially if you have been in avoidance of some big feelings or of some emotional situations or experiences or conversations or fears, even, I'm hearing like money fears, uncertainty, unsettled energy, the in-between. Sit down with that feeling or those feelings. Really do your best to get underneath them. If you work with a therapist or a healer, express about that. Share with your partner, your friends, your family. Like, let people hold you and support you, because in that is how you're going to be able to process. It's not weak to have feelings. It's not weak to feel your feelings. It's actually really, really strong to be able to actually be like, you know what? I'm going to be brave enough to be uncomfortable right now. I'm going to be brave enough to face that fear right now. I'm going to be brave enough to let myself feel joy right now, because we get scared of that. We limit our joy because we're afraid that it'll go away, or that, I don't know, it might be too much to hold, or that it's only going to happen once and then never again, right? There's all these different things, but Queen is the master. She is the ruler of her kingdom. And that brings us to part 2, which is leading your kingdom from what you learn from your feelings. So whether this is lessons learned from challenging feelings, or whether this is letting your light, letting your joy, letting your passion lead the way, which is a big theme for us. To what I've learned in this work that I've been doing for almost a decade now is that's the secret sauce. That's the universe's secret sauce. If it lights you up, it's it. If it doesn't light you up, it's not it. And so maybe some readjustment this week. What is draining my energy? What is not making me feel good? What is making me feel good? This came up last week, so we're in it more this week. But Queen of Cups, being that it's a queen, this is like authority. This is, you deserve to feel good. You deserve to change, shift, rid yourself of the things that don't feel good. And it's easier said than done, right? But it is possible. We just have to give ourselves time to sit down with the feelings, acknowledge them. And I'm listening to this for myself as well, because it's a big theme in my life. What am I actually feeling here? Is it lack of control? Is it fear? Is it a mix of all the things? But coming into that authenticity with those feelings is going to help us face them, heal them, move through them, and then be able to actually refocus on, okay, well, what does bring me joy? Okay, I'm going to do more of that, or I'm going to adjust this. A lot in that energy forecast that was just posted, again, which I'll link below, was about adjustment of structures. How can we make things feel better in our lives? So really looking at all of the areas of your life, your schedule, your home, again, those feelings we may be avoiding, conversations, situations, etc. And how can we actually just be with them this week? Take some action where possible, so that we can come more into our power and our sovereignty and our authority to live life that feels right and good to us, not to the other, but to us. So maybe that is a big theme this week. If you have one thing from this Queen of Cups, well, 2 things. Face your feelings, be real with them, give yourself time to feel them. And number 2, what feels good for me in my life? Because you may notice that you're doing things based on what others have told you, or what will make them happy, or what's only good for them and not for you. Now, of course, we want to put other people, prioritize that. Yeah. But it's, sorry, I just saw this beautiful hawk flying by with, how do I put this lightly? Prey in its mouth. So I got a little bit distracted because it was so beautiful, but also, so I'm going to come back to that image in just a minute and check in, because I think that was for us. It was very raw. They're saying that's it. The rawness of your feelings, and how in that true, even nitty gritty vulnerability, your deepest desires, your truest wants, the harshest angers, fears, all of it. Now, it's not that we express anger towards people or whatever, but we can be with it. It's not bad. It's important to get out so it doesn't loom and grow and grow. That rawness, the reality of it. Yeah, birds get prey. It's the circle of life. It's part of it. So that truth is what's being called upon this week, mustered up, because that is how Spirit is asking you to lead your life, right? So yeah, there's beauty and joy and all of it, the light and all of it, but there's a rawness, a depth to it too. That's what's being asked of you this week. To see all the parts so you can create the best kingdom, queendom life for you based on you and your desires, you and your lessons learned, okay? This feels like a beautiful opportunity here. And yeah, it might be a little uncomfortable to sit with those feelings, but it is going to be so worth it, okay? Okay, then we have this card here. Ooh, the Hermit. Lovely. Time for yourself. Shining your light inward. Make time with you for you. It's really, this one is super simple this week. In order to get here, Queen of Cups, we have to do this work. And being that this is a major card, this is not only this week. This is, again, looking at your structures, your schedules. How can you create beautiful Hermit energy, sacred time for yourself every single week? Every single week. And I know it's easier for some of us if we are, have less on our plate. That doesn't mean your life is easier. It just means that, maybe if you don't have kids yet, but you have a pet, that pets require a lot of love and support and the mental load and all the things. Or maybe if you're someone, you're like, I have 6 kids, or I'm pregnant, or I am whatever. Like, we all have things on our plate, but it's so important that you are taking time for you. Again, every week. This is a life changer. This is a schedule changer. This is a shift. The Hermit is not reclusive. She is protective of her peace. She sets healthy boundaries to just be authentically herself, to rest in this shell. Again, to shine her own light inwards. So whether this is nourishing yourself, whether this is doing something joyful, whether this is taking a nap, whether this is, sitting and enjoying your coffee or your tea for 5 minutes in the morning, whatever it is for you, this is time of restoration. If we can get it daily, even 5-10 minutes, great, but minimum once a week. So how are you going to literally schedule this in for yourself this week? What happens during that time is up to you. It could be the same every week, or it could change every week. But the time needs to be set and structured. So if you need childcare, if you want to, research what shows that you feel comfortable letting your kids watch so that you can have 15 minutes. If you want to take the dog on a play date so that you can sit, or whatever it is, right? If you want to actually take your lunch break, so many different options here. Time with you, for you. How are you going to make that happen? So that you can fill your soul, but also receive from yourself for yourself. If you always share your light out and you're like, gosh, what do I always give to other people? Kindness, hugs, laughs. How can I share kindness, laughs, and maybe even, physical touch? Maybe you massage your feet, or you book a massage. That came up last week too. Kindness, positive self-talk. Laughs, watch a funny show, tell yourself a joke, crack up at some dad jokes, Your light that you give out, your soul wants that too. Share it with yourself, okay? Okay, then we have Page of Swords. Ooh, okay, so Page of Swords, a little movement this week. Swift action energy. Again, in that energy reading, that podcast, you may want to go listen to it because Asha talks a lot about the astrology there. This is very much about like things changing, and then maybe they change again next week, and then maybe they change again next week, and we're kind of feeling like swept up in this energy. But Page of Swords, while it does acknowledge that kind of like, and now this is happening, and now this is happening, and now this is happening, it's also really exciting. This card is inviting you to take aligned action, so not impulsive action, but intuitive action towards the things that feel good to you. That's why we're doing all of this work in the beginning. How do I feel? Is there anything getting in the way? Is there anything I need to face? What do I actually want? How can I fill my own cup? Because there's some action waiting to be taken here. Whether that is going on vacation, something fun, and you're like, yeah, I want to do that for myself. Or whether this is, I've had this idea for a long time, I finally want to launch it. Or I finally want to pitch it. Or I finally want to do it. I finally want to do that thing that I've said that I wanted to do for however long. Do that this week. It's playful, it's fun, it's actionable, it's a little bit like calculated risk, like in a fun way. It's going for it energy. You may also get some news this week that you've been waiting for, like, hey, this thing has been in the works for a while, but it's finally done. Or, hey, let's sign that contract, or let's get things moving. Especially that we have these retrogrades coming up. There may be some things moving beforehand, before, I don't know, that there is some miscommunication or whatever. It's like you may want to kind of look at contracts or anything to do with communication, backing up your files, making space, like whatever it is, kind of clearing space. Or doing things that need to get done before we really hit some of the major energy of these retrogrades. But this is also, so that is important, kind of if you feel called, if there's things that have been lingering, or again, contracts to be signed, leases, agreements, anything, like maybe looking at that this week so that it's done before we start, especially that Mercury retrograde, before we hit that. No big pressure. If you're like, I can't, it's got to be done later in the month, you're going to be just fine. Just double check, cross your T's, dot your I's, like make sure everything looks good. We do not let the retrogrades determine our life, but if we know, we can get ahead of it a little bit. Great. But Page of Swords, again, it's also very playful, actionable. So intuition, not impulse. This feels like a good idea. This feels fun. This lights me up. Great. Not reactivity. Okay? Not, oh, I'm super scared, so I'm just gonna da-da-da-da. Or you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna do it. You are gonna feel like you wanna do that this week. If you can, don't. Or at least wait and check in with your intuition first. Do your research first. Get the information first. This is not the week for impulsive action. It's gonna feel like it is, but it's not. It doesn't mean don't take any action. You're probably gonna be taking action. You just wanna make sure that it is intuitive action, aligned action, thought through action, well-informed action, so that you don't accidentally have to like go back and do something that you wish you didn't do the first time and like fix it. Okay. And then lastly, we have, so with that, interesting, because we have Page of Swords, which is like da-da-da-da-da. Page of Wands, this is grounding. This is slowing down. So Page of Wands comes in to counteract the yin to the yang, the divine masculine to the divine feminine, to counteract the Page of Swords, right? It's really echoing intuition versus impulse. Action is good as long as we've taken the time, Page of Wands, to ground, to check in, to meditate, journal, think about, like talk through, check in with our feelings, nourish ourselves, make sure that we're moving from a full cup, a full gas tank. We actually have the energy to do what we want to do. Page of Wands is asking you to slow down and ground and really check in with yourself before taking this action. Okay, so again, this week, these cards are coming in to be like, you might feel energized, like, let's go, let's do this, but don't move too quickly. It doesn't mean don't do anything. It's just don't move too quickly. Lean into the playfulness of that. Yeah, do the thing you've always wanted to do, but like, make sure, let's say you're like, I always wanted to go kayaking. Great, but like, bring the sunscreen. If someone needs a life vest, make sure it's in the car. Whatever. If you've always wanted to like sign a lease somewhere and that you get presented with that opportunity, amazing. Just read it twice. Right? Check that all the sinks are working, make sure that there's no mold. Do your due diligence before you do the joyous thing. Pause before you move. ground before you fly, right? It's this really beautiful balance of energy, and you're likely going to be pulled more towards the action, go, go, go. So your challenge is to slow down, to ground down, to make time for yourself with that Hermit card, especially being this is our only major card this week. We're really focusing on ourselves and our pausing and our protecting our peace and our boundaries and our grounding and our nourishment, so that we have time and space to deal with any feelings that are coming up. We're not going to run from them. We're going to face them. Because once we do, we're going to clear that space to make room for joy, filling that cup so we can take that intuitive aligned action forward when we feel like we want to. Okay? Okay, this was beautiful. Lots going on here. Any questions, please let me know. If you feel called to donate to what I call the love jar, I will leave my PayPal donation link in the description box below. This helps me to show up with energy for you every week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It really helps me out. And if you are not in a place to financially donate, the other way to support this channel is to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe, share with a friend who you think would receive something from it. I'm sending so much love. Have a beautiful, restful, joyous, and exciting week, and I will see you again soon.